Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. Over the past month or so, I've done 3 different reviews for products that can be used to make what's being called the glass bead magnetic effect with magnetic nail polish. If you're unfamiliar with the glass bead effect, it's one where instead of having the magnetic effect go from side to side on your nail like you would see with a velvet effect, it more so creates a little ball of light or something that looks like it's going up and down instead of left and right. There's a number of different ways to achieve this effect, a number of different tools that are out there to make this effect possible. You might have seen videos of people rigging magnets to things like hair dryers or something. It's things that spin. There's just a lot of there have been some, let's say, some unsafer ways to go about doing this, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to review 3 of the different products that people have been using for this, to get a sense for which of these tools would be the one that I would personally use and recommend. And so I will say, I originally had all 3 of these like together, like holding up at the same time, but then because they're magnets, they were like flying at each other. So I'm just gonna like hold these up one at a time so that we don't have that happen. The first one that I reviewed was this one from 5D Print Factory. The second one was this magnetic lab stir, which was not made for the purpose of the glass bead effect, but science. And then the third one that I reviewed was this one from SJ3 Designs. I'll start by saying that if you have not seen any of the other videos that are in this series, I do encourage you to take the time to watch those first. I've put links to them in the description so that you can easily get there. Those go a lot more in depth into all the details and nuances of each of these individually, whereas this video is where I'm going to do more of a head-to-head comparison. The way that I've decided to plan this out is that I've come up with I forget how many categories offhand. I've come up with, let's just say, a number of different categories that I am going to use to compare them to each other, such as their cost, the amount of time that it took to ship, the things like the amount of space that it takes up to use and to store, things like that. And I'm doing this in like a ranked choice voting system. It's gonna make more sense once I have visuals to overlay on the screen so that y'all can see what I'm talking about. But there's one category in there that I do not yet have the values for, and that is for the quality of the result of the glass bead. And that is because what I'm going to do next is to, now that I know how to use all 3 of these, I'm going to sit down one last time with them as part of this comparison series, and one by one go through, do the glass bead effect, and then compare the results to each other to see how that result plays out. So I'm going to do that. Then I'll come back to do the overall breakdown of which tool scored how much in which category. And I wanted to do it this way because, like, let's say if cost is your main factor, it may be the case that the tool that comes out as number 1 overall, just for example, might not be the one that scored the best in cost. But if cost, for example, is your main concern, that might be something where you're like, you don't care about as much about the rest of it, but you just need to know in that category. So that's your priority. Or like if space is a concern for you, that might be a category that you choose to emphasize over others. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and shift over to my nail desk and get things going here. So I will be right back. All right, so I am all set up here for the first tool that I'm going to be testing out today, and that is the Joan Lab Magnetic Stirrer. I don't think I mentioned in the intro, but for these final tests today, I'm going to be doing all of them on my fingers. We've seen them on swatch sticks in the previous 3 videos in this series, and for this, as I'm doing a head-to-head comparison, or I guess a finger-to-finger comparison. I'm sorry, this is just how my sense of humor is. Because we're doing a finger-to-finger comparison, I want to make sure to really do this in a way that will most accurately represent how these products would be used in a real-world scenario. And so as I was thinking about the order in which I wanted to do these, I decided to do the magnetic stirrer first because I think with the other 2 products that I have, I guess what I'm going to say is, like, I didn't want it to be the case that, like, let's say I use one of the 3D printed ones first on, like, my index finger, and this one is all done, right? And then I decided, okay, so my middle finger is going to go on the magnetic stirrer. Like, this one would already have been magnetized at the time that I'm then putting this one on the magnetic stirrer and magnetizing it, you know what I mean? And I technically can reach my index finger all the way over here, but I don't want to have to do that. So what I'm going to do is magnetize my index finger first on the magnetic stirrer, and then move this off to the side. Then I'm going to use the other 3D printed tools on this one and then that one, because with those tools, like, I don't think that the magnetic field is going to be so strong and placed in a position where it could potentially affect the result of what I had put over here. Okay. So the next detail, I really wanted to go out with a bang for this video in terms of which of my magnetic polishes am I going to use for testing. Now, I knew it needed to be one that has a very good magnetic pull, and I just knew, okay, off the bat, that means I'm using one of my Bee's Knees lacquer polishes, because they, at least in my collection, by far have the best result for magnetics. This one here is from one of their Hella Handmade Creations offerings from a few months ago. This is Protocol 53. And let me just pull out a bar magnet to show you why I chose this one. So if you just look and see how it is, just hanging out in the bottle, magnet, boom, look at that. That is why this is the one that we're using for testing today. Okay, so that's the polish that we're using. As always for testing, I am going to be using my trusty timer here. I'm going to set it to a minute for each coat that I'm magnetizing across all of these to be as consistent as possible. And as I have done in my previous test, I do use the DRK Magic Effect to help provide a more crisp magnetic line, magnetic glass bead ball, whatever you want to call it. So I'll be cutting back in to do that as well. And yeah, I guess the last thing I will mention is that I went back to my previous videos to remind myself of what I had chosen as the, I guess, like optimal or like the best setting that I obtained from the results. And I'll be using those same settings now in today's test. And for the magnetic stirrer, I found that the best one for me was to do it on what I consider the low speed. So if you may recall, this is the setting where it's off. It goes all the way up here when it's turned on at maximum. And I decided that I would set this as like low. right here, like roughly there. Okay, so that's going to be what I'm using there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I am missing. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Yeah, that's like jazz hands. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm being like extra weird in this video today. So yay. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and start working. This will be the point at which in editing I'm going to speed this up, but yeah, sit back and relax and let's watch this go. Okay, it's been a minute. I'm just going to clean up the edges of this real quick. All right, and this is what we got from the magnetic stirrer. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. By the way, what I did for my nails today in preparation for this, I wanted to paint my nails with a surface that I wouldn't mind putting a magnetic polish on top of. So I started with a black cream polish. I put some iridescent flakies on top of it, specifically this one here from Spectrum Cosmetics, Amok. And yeah, so what I've done here is what I've filmed in a tutorial previously that I'll link in the description of the magnetic pond effect. But oh, that is so pretty. Oh, that is gorgeous. Okay, yep, I picked the right polish to do for today. Let me move the magnetic stir to the side. And let's see, next, let's go ahead and pull over the one from, so this is the Glassify tool from SJ3 Designs. And what I found when I was testing this one in my previous video for this was that during my initial rounds of testing, I was putting like my finger in the middle, but I was placing it like directly on the base here, whereas I then realized later on I was getting better results if I elevated my finger just so slightly, like to the point where obviously I don't want it to bump up against the base here, but I do want it to be something where it's like, you know, so right here, place at the bottom, I wasn't really getting strong results, but then raised up even just midway here was getting much better results. So this is going to be the, I guess you could say, the vertical positioning that I'll be using for the test. And then I will be spinning this at what I consider to be the fast speed. So like, and so on. And with this, I am able to have this finger in here, have the index finger that has already been magnetized safely like protected in its own bubble over there. Okay, so up next, here we go, SJ3 Designs Glassify. I'm gonna do the same thing where I speed up the video of this in my editing. Okay, yeah, I did accidentally kind of scrape up against that a little bit there. But here is the initial result of the SJ3 Designs one. Ooh, oh, this is why I just love teal as a color. And then you got shifts of purple in there. Yeah. I will say something that I noticed about using it now that I understand how this tool best works is that because I was doing the thing where I was like floating my finger in the way that I showed, that meant that I did not have any finger or anything that was actually holding down the base for me. I mean, it does have these really nice little like clear feet here that help to give it, I guess, a little bit more of a grip. But and I wonder if maybe like it might actually grip better on a surface that's not a paper towel. I do tend to use a paper towel here because of like sometimes I get messy, and this is just a way for me to protect my desk. Where was I going with this? Yes, because it wasn't really gripping down, it was starting to travel a little bit over here, so I was adjusting my right arm to follow it there. But you know, that was fine. But yeah, I do really like how these results are looking so far. Okay, now let me actually clean this up just a bit. Yo, by the way, my cleanup brush, I don't think I've ever shown my cleanup brush on camera, but this cleanup brush has seen some stuff. This is, I think it's called a concealer brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics. And I mean, this brush has been my ride or die for the longest time. It, you know, sometimes what happens is that it ends up touching acetone that I've put on the paper towel, and it just gets scraped off. But this thing, love this brush, and it only cost me like $3 too. This is like the best $3 I have ever spent. Okay, and finally in our testing, we've got the tool from 5D Print Factory. So let me make sure I'm using the correct size, because I know that in my testing I determined that using the like smallest setting was going to be the best. So okay, you can see here the height difference. I say this because it's really easy to like put these stacked together in any kind of order. So you want to make sure that as you're using this, don't just say like, oh yeah, I'm just pulling off whatever one is on the top, because you might have accidentally stacked the small one that you were looking for on the bottom. Okay, y'all, I promise I'm usually not this clumsy. It's just because these two fingers are wet. Okay, and with this one, let's see. Okay, so we've got a little finger groove in here compared to where what we were doing with the SJ3 Designs tool. This, I would say, having it pressed on the base here leaves about the exact same amount of room as what we had with the SJ3 Designs one. So I don't feel that I'm going to need to worry about actively like floating this one like I was before. And with this, I determined that the speed I was going to use was the so-called fast speed, which looks like that. Okay, so let me put on my polish. Okay, and going to set my timer, and here we go. Okay, that's been a minute, and I need to clean this up, but here is that result. Oh, I chose the right polish for this. Yeah, it looks like my fingers are being abducted by aliens. Not me as a person being abducted by aliens, apparently, just my fingers being abducted by aliens. I don't know why I do know. This is how weird I am in real life. Like I'm just this way, and I just say stuff like this sometimes. Okay, so let me go ahead and clean this up real quick. And what I'm going to do next off camera is put on the on each of these in the same order that I just did. Put on the DRK Magic Effect, magnetize for a minute, and then after that, same order, put on my top coat, magnetize for a minute, and then we'll come back. What I'll also do, which I think I've done in other videos before that will be helpful, after I do the magic effect on the first one, I'm going to pop back on briefly to show you all the difference between how it can look when you have used a product like that versus how it looks without that, because I know that that is a very common question that comes up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first, and I will be right back. Okay, I just want to pop back on here real quick to show you what I mentioned about comparing the difference that using a product like the DRK Magic Effect can have with working with magnetic nail polish. And so that's only been done so far on my index finger here on the right. You can see when I compare that to the other two fingers that have not yet had that applied to it, it has the effect of making it so that you see more of whatever like background color there is in that particular polish, and the magnetic part of it looks a lot more concentrated to like a smaller area. But like I've said before, I do want to be very clear that I don't think that there's any like right or wrong or good or bad way to have for magnetic nail polish. I know that some people actually prefer a more spread out look, like what you have, like what I've got here in my middle and ring fingers. But for me personally, I prefer this way on the right, and so that's why I wanted to use that as my basis of comparison. Just want to put that out there, but yeah, I'm gonna go back and do the same thing to these two, then go back with top coat, and we'll see our results. Okay, I'm back with the results after having put on the DRK Magic Effect and also a top coat and magnetizing each finger again for a minute each time. And yeah, so I've been sitting here wiggling my fingers a bit, looking and seeing what I think. And I'll start by saying that as far as just the quality of the result is concerned, I can recommend all three of these as something that will give you a very nice looking glass bead effect. But to rank these in the order of which I think they perform, I would say that in third place, again, this is just for performance, and then we'll get to our overall results in just a moment. Third place for the quality, I would say, is on the right, my index finger with the magnetic lab stirrer. I think that, yeah, you can see that it is a glass bead effect. It's there, but I think it's a little bit more spread out than I personally prefer it to be. So that's third place. And then second place, I would say would be on the left, the 5D Print Factory one. It was very close between these two here, but I think that I just found that the more crisp result that I was looking for, I got from the SJ3 Designs one in the middle. This is something I'll mention here, since it's fresh on my mind, is that I really do think that the SJ3 Designs one could be improved by having some kind of little thing to rest there in the middle. I almost wonder if I were to put something like a cotton ball there to allow my finger to rest on while it's in there, that would be something that would give me the exact positioning that I need to have it elevated to be at the my preferred distance from the magnet above, without me needing to hover my finger there. Because in order for me to get this effect, I actually, and you might even be able to see like a little like stripe there in the middle. That's because there were about 3 times over the course of me magnetizing this and then putting on the DRK Magic Effect and the top coat that I had to like apply the magic effect or reapply the top coat before going about magnetizing, because I had raised my finger up too far and it had hit the base and caused it to smudge. So this is part of why, you know, we're not just going to base this on just a single category, but I just do want to be very clear when I say, although I do very slightly prefer the quality of the result that I got from using the SJ3 Designs tool, it comes with the caveat of not necessarily having the most comfortable experience while doing that. So let's go ahead and see what's coming up next. All right, I am back with ready to discuss the overall and final results for this. And first, if you see me looking down, it's because I've got my iPad here with a table where I have plotted out my thoughts across the it's 8 different categories that I decided to use for evaluating these products. And, you know, I think in the beginning of this video, I said I have several categories or a number of categories. Y'all, that number was 8. But you know what? I just try to be thorough. And so here's how we're going to do this. For each of these categories, I have given each product a number of points. 3 points being if that product scored the highest in that category, 2 points if it was in the middle, 1 point if it scored the lowest in that category. And then at the end of that, I have added up all the scores to have a final score, and then we will crown the winner or something like that. So here we go. Let's start with cost as the first category. So 3 points for this went to the 5D Print Factory because theirs was the lowest cost when factoring in everything, including the base product cost, taxes, shipping, all of that all together for all of these. 5D Print Factory was $25.31. 2 points goes to SJ3 Designs because that one altogether came to $30.41. And then the magnetic stir received 1 point because that altogether came to $35.79. Next category is shipping time. 3 points for that went to the magnetic stir, which I ordered on August 13th and received it the very next day on August 14th. That's because I ordered it from Amazon and shipping was super fast. But this was actually a very close race for this category because 2 points went to 5D Print Factory. That one I ordered on October 3rd and I received it on October 6th. I would say for that coming from a small business that, you know, that is incredibly impressive. So kudos to 5D Print Factory for having such amazing customer service overall, but also just excellent turnaround time for that. And then 1 point for shipping time went to SJ3 Designs. I ordered it on September 14th and received it on October 24th. Okay. Next category. This is where I probably should have come up with some more concise way to label these, but for now, and maybe in editing I will, but for now, I'm just labeling this next category as ease of use for all fingers. And that meaning, like I was saying before, in particular, how like the magnetic stirrer is not one that I can really put my thumb on. Anyway, so for this category, I gave 3 points to SJ3 Designs. And that was because I feel that when you, like if I wanted to magnetize my thumb in that one, I would feel a lot more secure with having the top piece of it as something that is being held in and I'm spinning it around, as compared to 2 points for this category went to 5D Print Factory. That one, I think, also still has good ease of use for like magnetizing the thumb if I'm holding it, but I don't feel that it has as much of a secure grip as that's being spun, as opposed to like when it's something that is being more held down. And then for this category, 1 point went to the magnetic stirrer because of what I mentioned about my thumb not being comfortable to lay flat there. Next category is noise level. For this one, I gave 3 points to the magnetic stirrer. It's very quiet. Even on the highest spin setting, it still is just a soft little hum that's there. I gave 2 points to 5D Print Factory. That one, you know, it makes a sound as it's spinning, but it's not overly loud, I think, especially when you compare it to SJ3 Designs, which got 1 point for this category. That one was louder than the 5D Print Factory, so that's the reason for the difference in points there. Next category is the amount of space that's needed to use and then store it. For this category, I gave 3 points to 5D Print Factory. It has definitely the smallest footprint of these three. I also like that even though there are 3 different base heights that are able to be used with this product, they all stack perfectly on top of one another. It looks like the size of a pill bottle. You know, it's literally that like small and compact. I gave 2 points to SJ3 Designs. That one has a slightly larger footprint, and from what I'm seeing, there's really no way to easily just like lay the magnet in there. I mean, you can just leave it sitting on top of it if you like, but it does take up a little bit more space than 5D Print Factory's product. And I gave 1 point for this category to the magnetic stirrer. I mean, y'all saw how big that thing was. It's not like overly huge, but I think that considering how tiny most things are in the realm of nail polish tools, including nail polish bottles, like brushes are small, nail polish bottles are small, cotton balls are small. I think I'm just used to seeing smaller, tinier things when I'm doing my nails. And then in comes this magnetic stirrer that is like, it's not overly huge, but it is something that doesn't easily just, I don't have room for it on my nail desk as it is. I just keep it on the floor when I'm not using it. Okay, the next category is what I'm referring to as the level of effort / involvement required for it. And for this, I'm going to do a brief pause here because before I came and sat back over here, I recorded a short video clip so that I can more clearly illustrate what I'm referring to and how I decided to score these. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you all a closer look into what I was referring to and what I was taking into consideration when I was thinking about this category of the ease of use, or what I'm referring to as like how uninvolved can I be and still get the cute nails that I'm hoping for? Can I just sit back and do nothing, or do I have to be very actively involved here? And so the factor here with these two options really comes down to like how often you're having to keep manually spinning them. So I'm just going to show you, like, for both of these, for the sake of comparison, I'm going to like hold them down like this for now. For the SJ3 Designs one, here we go. So that's a single rotation at max speed. Let me do that again. Okay. Whereas with the 5D Print Factory one, and for this one, I'm actually going to just like put my finger in here to put my finger in here to hold it down because I can't really get a grip on it from the other side, but still what you're going to see here is going to be the same. So here's how long a full rotation lasts for this one. Now, granted, it does, just like this one, it does slow down as it's doing this, but let me do this again. So I'm actually curious to see how many of these rotations can I get in the same time that I'm doing this. Let me see if I can pull that off. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll say like 7.5 or something like that. So yeah, again, this is I'm just wanting to give you all the data that I am using as I'm making my decision, just so that you can understand more clearly where this factor is coming in, as far as like how lazy can I be when it comes to painting my nails. Okay, I hope that little video clip was helpful there. So with that being said, for this category of level of effort and involvement required, I had to give 3 points to the magnetic stir. I mean, I can just sit there, put my thumb, or not my thumb. I can sit there and put like literally any other finger on the magnetic stir and just sit back. Like the other hand does not need to be doing anything. It is just very low effort that is required. And I like that. I gave 2 points in this category to 5D Print Factory for what I showed in the clip with the spinning. And then 1 point for this category to SJ3 Designs. Next category. I'm calling this the chance of affecting the polish that's on other nails when using it. It was just, like I said, I probably could have been more concise with this, but like I'm painting a picture here. This is what I'm saying. The chance of affecting the polish that's on other nails when you're using it. So for this, I gave 3 points to the SJ3 Designs tool, because when you are spinning that tool, you're able to like flick it in a way where you're using more of like the pads of your fingers, and it's very unlikely that that will affect the polish that's on your nails. For more of an explanation as to what I mean by this, definitely check out that particular video that's linked in the description. But that got 3 points for this category. I gave 2 points to 5D Print Factory, because I've previously mentioned how when you're spinning it, there may be a chance that like your nail might get affected there. So it's not a given, but just something to keep in mind. And I gave 1 point to the magnetic stirrer because of the fact that when you are putting your fingers on the magnetic stirrer, like let's say I just magnetize my index finger and then I'm going to magnetize my middle finger. I can't just kind of like, my index finger can only go so far to the side, and it might be the case that with that, the magnetic nail polish being on both fingers, would this potentially remagnetize this one as well, when that might not be what I want to have it do. Okay, and the final category is what I'm calling the quality of the glass bead result. And this we already went through earlier, but just to recap, I'm giving 3 points to SJ3 Designs, 2 points to 5D Print Factory, and 1 point to the magnetic stirrer. And so, okay, y'all, I feel like I'm at the Olympics. Like I'm not that I'm accepting the award, but like I'm giving out the awards here. Okay, so with in third place with our bronze medal, sorry, I'm having way too much fun. Okay, in third place with a total of 14 points is the Joan Lab Magnetic Stirrer. In second place with a total of 16 points is SJ3 Designs. And then finally, in first place with a total of 18 points is 5D Print Factory. Okay. 5D Print Factory, would you like to say anything as you are accepting this award? Wait, what's that? Very well said. Yeah. So yeah, I really hope that all four of the videos in this series have been helpful for you all as you've been considering your options for which glass bead tool or tools, plural, you might be interested in trying. And I hope that this video in particular was one that can help you to better understand the breakdown of the various categories. I think that there's a lot of factors that can go into product choice. And when it comes to me and thinking of, well, which of these tools do I see myself most realistically using in the future, I think it would be most likely 5D Print Factory, with the option to do the magnetic stir if there's a time when I'm just like, hey, I want to have magnetic glass bead nails, but I really don't feel like moving a whole lot right now. So in that case, what I might do is do these 4 fingers on the magnetic stir, and then do use the SJ3 Designs one for the thumb, because I know that ranked highly in the, what did I call that one? Ease of use for all fingers. Yeah, that it ranked highly in that category. Yeah. And also I often travel, and whenever I travel, I do bring nail polish with me. I don't always have time when I'm traveling though to do magnetic nails beyond like a cat eye or velvet. But so I don't know if I would necessarily bring this with me as I'm traveling, just because I know I'm probably not going to have the time to do it. But if I ever do, say like, all right, I'm traveling for a wedding or a friend's wedding or something, and I want to have extra cute nails, that might be a time when I say, yeah, let me bring this with me. It's not too big to have to add into my carry-on luggage. And yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else before I wrap up, but I'll just say that this series has been very fun for me to do and to test things out for y'all. I've got some other really fun video ideas coming up, and I hope that if you are not already subscribed, please do subscribe so that you can see when these new videos that I'm talking about will come up. And I promise that I don't always make my nail products talk like I did today, but you never know. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all so much for watching, for commenting, for being part of this channel. I truly do appreciate that. This has been a lot of fun to film, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Bye.